I don't know. I think I would disagree with the pop culture reference that you said that English is so widely available because I think what was that series? Money Heist?
Yeah.
That's in Spanish, right? That series with the drug, the Pablo Escobar serial,
Yeah.
that's in Spanish. And I've seen many reels about it, like Indians speaking of Spanish because of that, because they watch it in Spanish. I mean, I learned English through watching television.
Yeah.
And how does it change you as a human being, speaking multiple languages?
When I speak another language, I just feel very, very much alive.
But I'm curious because why is Spain still teaching English to its people? That's interesting because it is true in India. If you speak English, you are sort of an elite, or like you have something special with you. Not oh, this person speaks this good, English. So, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Hi, George. Thank you for doing this. It's super spontaneous, and I think it's super interesting that you speak 6 languages. Is that true?
Right. Thank you so much for having me, Avi. I'm not a language expert, but I do enjoy learning languages since very little. And I've been, as an adult, I've been continuously learning, and that's one of my passions. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
So you speak English, French, Spanish?
Correct. So my parents, my mother tongue is Spanish, and also kind of Basque. We are taught Basque at school, and we pretty much studied everything in Basque, except for Spanish, from the age of 3, 4 until 18.
Okay.
So,
And what other languages do you speak?
um, so right at high school, every Spaniard needs to learn English, and then we also had the option of starting French, which is what I did. Then later on, I started German at university, and because I wanted to keep learning, I started actually learning Greek,
Mm-hmm.
which is a fascinating language too. And yeah, lately I picked up Chinese, but I'm still starting. I'm just doing it for the fun.
Where does this motivation comes from, or what kind of a mindset one needs to have to learn so many languages?
Yeah, that's a very, very good question. I was just thinking about it, and I think that in my case, I started learning languages because of Harry Potter.
Okay.
Um, when I was 11, 12, I was obsessed with these books, and I really wanted to know how it all ended, to continue reading the next chapter of the story. So I remember when the 5th or 6th book came out, I really struggled because I really did not, my English was not that good. But I remembered I actually translated the first chapter of the 5th book because I really wanted to understand it, and I just couldn't wait for the next installment.
Okay.
Right. So I think that's what really got me into languages.
Interesting. See, they had launched the 5th series in English and not in Spanish
That's right.
because you couldn't wait to read it in Spanish. If like let me just. That's interesting.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how does it change you as a human being, speaking multiple languages?
So there's a theory out there that, of course, you are a different personality with every language that you speak. Uh, I don't know. For me, it's about feeling alive. When I speak another language, I just feel very, very much alive.
Yeah.
I mean, I also enjoy speaking Spanish, of course, but it's just different, and every time is another experience. And the fact, to be able to travel and to be able to practice the language that you've been learning for months, to actually see that what you are being taught in textbooks is what people actually speak there, right? Like it's not a joke. Like it's a language that people actually.
Yeah, that's true. When I speak German to a native or a French to a native, and I see them understanding me and we having a connection, it feels nice, also because I don't know how it works with you, but I aspire to think in the language I'm speaking. So instead of thinking in English and then trying to translate it into, German or French, I try to think in German and then speak it, because that removes resistance away, and it's more flowing and more organic. Is that the same with you?
I mean, yeah, that's the ultimate goal, I believe, to be able to think, even to dream in a foreign language, which can be done.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you can avoid translating directly from your mother tongue or from English, then the better.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm curious because Spain, and I'm not very well informed, but Spain was, for a lack of a better word, a colonizer. Like, it was never colonized. Like India was colonized by, Britishers. That's why English became a big part of the Indian culture. But at some point, the Britishers sort of imposed English on us.
Sure.
Why is Spain still teaching English to its people? Is it more of a thing to to be a global citizen, or how does it come in the Spanish teaching curriculum?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, English is all about prestige, and you cannot, like, Spanish is a very, very powerful language. We have long believed as Spaniards that we are the very center of the Spanish world, and we really maybe don't want to acknowledge that there's a whole continent that has many more speakers than Spain. But I believe maybe that's a Spanish mentality, the fact that we always believe that we're not that great. We have some sort of complex. And of course, English is the only way to get out of that. English has a lot of prestige also in Spain.
Really, like that's interesting because Spain was never like colonized. I always imagined that there wouldn't be a complex for English. That's interesting because it is true in India. If you speak English, you are sort of an elite, or like you have something special with you. Oh, this person speaks such a good, English. So I thought like in Spain, English would be a good to have, not a must to have.
I mean, it's been a long time since Spain started colonizing half of the world, and the story is now different. The story is now that we are very much dependent on Europe. We're very much dependent on the United States, and there was, of course, a dictatorship. There was, of course, a civil war in Spain last century, and things have changed a lot. We cannot even some political parties would like to compare ourselves with how the country was 400 years ago. Like they still want to believe that Spain is again or still a great country, but no, we definitely need to use English as a tool, as a way to connect with the rest of the world. Spanish is just not enough.
But as somebody who works as like a translator who has a feel of various different languages, I think there's something also about the ease in the English language that makes it attractive to be learned. Like, for example, my fiance says, like, she's French, but she says that it's easy for her to, speak English and work in English as well. Is it something about the grammatic rules of English that makes it easier to speak and work in and, express yourself in?
That is a very, very interesting question, Avi. And I believe the main reason why English is so approachable is the fact that it's everywhere. It's in the movies, it's in pretty much every song, it's all around us. So it's super easy to pick it up. In terms of grammar, sure. Comparing to other languages, English has a very, very easy grammar, much easier than French or German or Spanish for sure. But in terms of spelling, for example, English is a nightmare because you have many different spellings for the same pronunciation.
True. Like BUT is but PUT is not put, it's but. No, it's put but not put. Like BUT is but, which means that PUT should be but it's put.
Right.
These sort of
Yeah. Okay.
interesting.
Mhm.
I don't know. I think I would disagree with the pop cultural reference that you said that English is so widely available, because I think what was that series, Money Heist?
Yeah.
That's in Spanish, right? Or
Right.
that series with the Pablo Escobar series. I don't know what the name is.
Yeah.
That's in Spanish, and I've seen many reels about it, like Indians speaking of Spanish because of that, because they watch it in Spanish,
That's
of
right.
course, with English subtitles. So I believe, like, with the rise of OTT platforms and stuff, it's funny, like language learning might also become easier, because I mean, I learned English through watching television. I remember, like, it was hard for me to learn English as well. And when I was growing up, I went to like a Christian school for the first half of my youth, where I was fined to speak Hindi. So if I spoke in Hindi outside of my Hindi classes, I had to give a fine, and they sort of imposed English on us. But it was difficult for me to pick up English. There was this movie, The Incredibles. I don't know whether
Yeah, the picture movie. Yeah.
the Pixar movie, and I got it in English and I couldn't understand it. And then I got it in Hindi with English subtitles. And I remember that was the beginning of my English learning, journey. Because English, I don't know how this is in Spain, but English is a big deal in India, especially when I was growing up. If you spoke English, you could impress everybody, like it was like, oh, the girls will fall for you and all that thing. But if you only, there was almost a shame if you only spoke in Hindi. There was almost sort of like, if you spoke like really proper Hindi but couldn't speak English at all, you were like sort of low in the social class, which now I hate, because one of my goals is that once I'm stable enough, once I have the luxury to learn languages for the sake of learning them and not for economic gains, I would sit down and really revisit Hindi, make my basics much better than what they are right now.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I mean, I was I just wanted to like highlight that how important English was.
Yeah.
But it's not the same, I think, in Spain, because Spanish people are really proud of like when you were growing